India, located in South Asia, is a large country that ranks second in the world in terms of population and seventh in terms of geographical area. When India became independent in 1947, after about 2 centuries of colonial rule, poverty was widespread in the country. Agriculture was the dominant source of employment. Agricultural laborers, who either belonged to scheduled castes or scheduled tribes, formed the largest group among the rural poor. They suffered from social and economic exclusion. Ill health and poverty and lack of quality health care were the mainstay in their lives. The national government formed under Sri Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, focused on a process of economic growth and poverty reduction through initiation of 5-year plans. By mid-70s, the reform process continued slowly but steadily in several spheres of the economic and human development activities. But the poor continued to remain below the poverty line. Later, in early 90s, India's economy started growing at a faster rate, and it became the 4th largest economy in the world. However, the fruits of economic growth did not benefit everyone uniformly. According to the UNDP report, an estimated 37.2% Indian population lives below the country's national poverty line. Realizing that economic upliftment alone cannot alleviate poverty and that it must lead to social upliftment, Government of India through the states developed safety nets for the poor groups so as to mainstream them in the development process. But the poverty alleviation programs were not benefiting the poor either in terms of increasing their income or access to services, empowerment and independence. This was owing to the fact that most of the programs are plagued with corruption, high administrative cost, targeting errors, and administrative delays, leading to poor utilization of the allocated funds. Lack of understanding of the ground realities due to lack of participation of the beneficiaries is also a major reason for the failure. At the dawn of the century, while Andhra Pradesh was moving ahead polishing the contours of industrialization, the government of Andhra Pradesh launched the Society for Elimination of Rural Poverty, SCRP. Supported by World Bank, the project, popularly known as Indira Kranti Patham, has been working with women's groups since the past decade. SCRP's approach towards community development revolves around beneficiaries at the grassroots level by assigning them as the key stakeholders. To begin with, the project concentrated on building people's institutions, all oriented towards development through participation. Unlike current programs that are administered in a top-down manner, all the interventions under this project are built on the strong social infrastructure of women's self-help groups, SHG, their village organizations, and federations that were established across the state over the past 16 years. This opportunity has placed women center stage to explore the best social solutions and then collaborate with each other to refine, enrich and implement those solutions, making a big difference field by field, be it microfinance, livelihoods, marketing, taking care of water and sanitation measures, running diaries, managing health and disability, insurance and health risk fund, taking care of food security measures, running community-managed nutrition-cum daycare centers, maintaining kitchen gardens, managing primary healthcare initiatives, land distribution, participatory democracy and social development. The list is endless. India lags behind in terms of human development indicators such as achievements in education and health fields in international comparison. Incidence of undernutrition and malnutrition in India is higher than incidence of income poverty. Young girls often enter their reproductive years in an undernourished condition, and a staggering 75% of them are anemic. National nutritional surveys show that the majority of India's poor, rural and socio-economically marginalized populations have a 20 to 40% shortfall in their protein energy intake. This is even greater for pregnant and lactating women and young children. Expectant mothers put on less weight during pregnancy than they should, 5 kgs on average compared to the worldwide average of close to 10 kgs. Not surprisingly, 43% of Indian children under 5 years are underweight. 48%, that is 61 million children, are stunted due to chronic undernutrition, and 70% children from age 6 to 59 months are anemic. It also increases the family's health expenditure, pushing the poor even deeper into poverty. The pilots carried out by the Health and Nutrition Unit in SCRP have shown that overall reduction in malnutrition levels by the community-managed Nutrition-Cum Daycare Centers (NDCCs) have made a difference. The NDCCs provide 3 cooked, well-balanced meals a day to these women and their children under 2 years at the NDCC premises itself, ensuring that the food is indeed consumed by the beneficiaries themselves and not diverted to other family members as usually happens. The cooks, who belong to local communities, are trained in nutrition at the home science colleges. The meals ensure that the women receive the essential nutrients they need, which are often missing in their everyday meals of rice, rasam, a thin soup of tomato and tamarind, a small amount of vegetables, and occasionally some lentil. The meals provided include nutrient-rich foods such as locally available millets that are rich in amino acids, as well as substantial servings of green leafy vegetables to ensure adequate intake of iron. The centers get a one-time grant of $6,000, approximately 300,000 rupees from the project, which is used as a corpus to generate interest income. To ensure the program's long-term financial viability, the NDCCs save on the cost of the meal by dovetailing their activities with those of ongoing government programs, like obtaining supplementary nutritional powder from the Integrated Child Development Scheme (ICDS), a Government of India program, and cereals from the Public Distribution System (PDS). Besides, the SHGs purchase in bulk rations such as pulses, oil, etc. from wholesale market and sell food baskets to rural households at prices that are lower than the local market, earning some 5,000 to 6,000 rupees per month, which is used towards running the NDCCs. The costs of the meals are further reduced by using vegetables and millets from local community kitchen gardens set up by the NDCCs. These gardens focus on growing the vegetables, particularly the leafy greens, that are rich in micronutrients that are frequently lacking in the meals that women cook at home. A spin-off benefit of these kitchen gardens has been that local households have begun to diversify and improve their overall diets. The village organizations lease out common lands for the creation of kitchen gardens and plant nurseries under the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme (NREGS). They also receive a fee whenever they depute Community Resource Persons (CRPs) to train staff at new centers. Earnings from these and other activities are used to fund NDCC expenses. In an innovative measure, the program has made use of managerial capacity and the credit management expertise of the SHG network to provide pregnant and lactating women with safe livelihood activities to enable them to pay a part of the cost of their meals. The women get together in groups to undertake light work such as the packaging of spices, making leaf plates, preparing savories, etc. These activities not only give the women the opportunity to earn about 40 to 50 rupees a day, but also provide them with much needed alternatives to manual labor jobs, since physically taxing work is one of the major causes of deaths, untimely abortions, and complications during pregnancy. The women are thus able to contribute 10 rupees a day towards part of the cost of their meals and take home the rest as earnings, enabling even the poorest of the poor to join the program. Mothers are free to work since their children are allowed to stay on at the center during the day in the care of an SHG member. But the most innovative feature of this intervention is that the cost of the meals is recovered in full, making the program sustainable over the long term. After the birth of their babies, the women continue to be members of the NDCC for up to a year. To ensure that the benefits of the program are sustained, the women are trained in good practices for feeding their infants and young children. Once every 2 weeks, the mothers get together to prepare weaning foods to complement breastfeeding. These foods combine powdered cereals with pulses and unrefined sugar to boost the child's nutrition. Once the women complete the NDCC program, they continue to be members of the SHG and are routinely exposed to health and nutrition messages during weekly meetings. The NDCCs ensure that their members attend the nutrition and health days, which are held twice a month. During these days, the village Asha and the auxiliary nurse midwife ANM, as well as members of the health committees of the SHGs, impart health education and counseling to the community. They also provide antenatal care, immunizations, growth monitoring, distribution of commonly used medicines, and supplementary nutrition powders. In addition, the women are encouraged to save for unexpected health expenditures and emergencies. Apart from providing meals, the NDCCs serve as focal points for health education and behavior change among the poor rural communities. Preventive care is the success mantra. The health activists help convince pregnant and lactating women to join the program. An intensive process which frequently entails convincing the mothers-in-law and husbands, who are the key decision makers in most village families. A key feature of the program is its social sustainability, being a community-led, community-owned and community-supervised initiative with local women as leaders, trainers and mentors. The NDCC model not only remains sensitive to the cultural needs and preferences of local communities, but also becomes inherently self-sustaining. Since 2007, 4,200 nutrition cum daycare centers, NDCCs, have been established in villages across Andhra Pradesh, reaching some 220,800 women and young children so far. Of these, around 1,100 centers have been set up in tribal regions. The uniqueness of this large-scale program lies in the fact that it lays stress on continuous training, support and organization of rural, sometimes even uneducated ordinary women to work for the community development needs of their remotest localities. In fact, it is these local resource persons, the CRPs, who form the backbone of the intervention. And it is through their social capital that the model has been scaled up across the state with ease. To a large extent, the women owe their success to Dr. Arole and to his comprehensive rural health project Jamgate, popularly known as CRHP, where he trained each one of them to see nutrition as an entry point activity to address the rest of the public health issues. The program has recently introduced MNDCC, an IT-based community tracking system that uses mobile phones to send data, enabling the program to track registrations, attendance, immunizations and expenditures with ease. Mobile phones with a preloaded application have been distributed to health activists in 4,200 NDCC villages. MNDCC is a real-time decision support system to ensure consistency and quality of services provided through the NDCC. By 2014-15, NDCCs will be set up in all the villages across the state, and adolescent girls will be included in the program to ensure that they receive the right nutrition in their critical growing years. The model is now being considered as an innovative measure to replicate across India under the National Rural Livelihood Mission. While Andhra Pradesh continues to work vigorously towards achieving MDGs, the world took notice of this innovation. Recognition came pouring in from far and wide. As a poverty alleviation program, the success of community-managed NDCC is gauged by its ability to service the population below the poverty line, that is, targeting the poor. The massive SHG network through NDCCs has amply proved that success in public health goes beyond impacting lives. It transforms them.